Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the Bay of Pigs invasion, part 2, was unsuccessful. And that is the attack on Bryansk, Russia, by some Russian, I don't know, liberators or something. Now, why do I call it the Bay of Pig invasion? Is because those guys did not just buy their weapons and trained, from the Amazon, you know what I mean, or anything like that. They were trained and supplied by probably the same forces who trained and supplied the Cuban exiles who invaded their own country in 1961. So, if you're not familiar with what happened, I will show you a little article, I will show you a map, and I will explain a little bit about what happened during the Bay of Pig of 1961, where the United States of America tried to overthrow a government of another country, which was the communist, I don't know, how should I put it, the communist system put in place by Fidel Castro and his gang. So I said gang for troop, how you want to call it. But let's get going with this article first, which comes from, let me find it right here, and it's from the Daily Beast, and I just picked it from here just because you can find it in many other locations. And its frantic hunting mission erupts after raid on Russian town. So this is from 10 hours ago. I was debating if I should make a video on this or not. Now, this is the Liberty of Russia Legion, this right here. And this is the new Hollywood actor. And here is Zelensky part 2 right here. Okay. Let's move on and see. What's interesting is I see the Ukrainian flags here, but anyway. The Kremlin has launched a counter-terrorist operation in Russia's Belgorod region after a pro-Ukrainian group claimed to have stormed and I'm quoting, completely liberated the border town of Kozinka. 8 people have been injured and several buildings have been destroyed in the clashes, according to the local Russian governor, who said the situation on the ground was extremely tense, as authorities continue to hunt for the alleged saboteurs. So on Monday, which is today, the Liberty of Russia Legion claimed on Telegram responsibility for the incident, adding that its forward units had even pushed further east into the town of Graivoron. The Kremlin claimed the saboteurs entered Russian territory through its borders with Ukraine, which has denied any involvement in the incident. And I'm quoting, "We are Russians like you," the group said in a video. "We are people like you. We want our children to grow up in peace. It is time to put an end to the dictatorship of the Kremlin." This thing with peace, people use it so, stupidly, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, we all like peace, unless we are crazy. Right? There are some crazy people out there, that's for sure. But we like peace. The only issue is on whose terms. So every time when you hear people, we want peace, the Russians want peace, but they want it on certain terms. The Ukrainians want peace, the Americans want peace, but the problem is I want peace when I take over the planet. When I take over the planet, I want peace. So why don't you want peace after I take over the world? So this is the plan, and whomever opposes the plan of peace is the person who doesn't like peace. You understand? So the Russians now do not want peace because they oppose the Americans spreading peace all over the world by taking over the world, and then it's going to be peace. Remember the Pax Romana? Well, if you don't know about the Pax Romana, that's what the Romans did. They peacified everybody. They peaced on everybody. It was Pax Romana. Everything was just perfect and kumbaya. All right? So that was there on their terms. Now, some nations like that? I don't think so. Like, a slave master, he wants peace. He doesn't want his slaves to rebel. And ask the slaves, what's wrong with you guys? Why don't you like peace? Well, sir, master, we don't like peace under these terms. oh my God, you're such bad people. So you understand now? So when these guys are using peace like that, think about this. Wait, like Napoleon Bonaparte said. Well, I like peace. I'm a man of peace. But as long as it's done on my terms. And we all want that. We all want that. You don't want a peace that is not, in your benefit. They call it a just peace. A just peace would be if we both agree to it. But until we get to that point, we're going to fight. And the problem is, one of us is going to be stronger and is going to the other one is going to bring the peace. Understand? You understand. So this is the first thing with what happened in Bryansk, and let's go over the map a little bit. The map is right here, and this is where happened in Belgorod. I'm sorry, not Bryansk. Belgorod is right here. This is Ukraine. Let me go back here. So this is Ukraine. This is where the front line is, and this is a map from the 21st of April, May. I'm sorry, from the Sputnik. So it's outdated. And here we have Belgorod, and this is where the thing occurred in this area right here. So on the border, this one not cooperated with me, so my bad. Right, so now we have where they said it occurred on the border with Ukraine and Belgorod. So let's go back to the Bay of Pigs and see what happened there. Bay of Pigs was in a date from 17th to 20th of April 1961. That's 3 days. Great job. So what happened here in the Bay of Pigs was the Bay of Pigs invasion was a failed military landing operation on the southwestern coast of Cuba in 1961 by Cuban whatever. You know what I mean. It's right here, the word. Just for you. Covertly financed and directed by the United States, by CIA to be more precise, which JFK was kept in the dark and he did not want that, according to some sources. It was aimed at overthrowing Fidel Castro's communist government. The operation took place at the height of the Cold War, and its failure influenced relations between Cuba, the United States, and the Soviet Union. So this is what was the Bay of Pigs. So they trained these guys. So when you hear these guys being, tra-la-la, lulu, they got their weapons from, Menards or something, and they did what they did with the Amazon, if you believe it. I personally do not. I suspect, I don't have any evidence, but my experience and knowledge, and that's it. Logic and not being an idiot, I think. They were not just trained somewhere in the basement of someone's house. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. In the basement, they do some pull-ups and some running around in the neighborhood and push-ups and all that, and got the weapons, I don't know from where. They found them on ground somewhere. All these things were organized. These guys are disciplined people, and if they came, they didn't come from Russia. They came from across the border. I mean, to think that they came from Russia, tell me where did they get all that? And attire, whatever you want to call it, the military, everything from the Russians. Not impossible, but I would give it 0.0001% that that's occurred. They were trained in Ukraine. I don't even know if they were trained in Ukraine. They might have been trained somewhere else, shipped over there nicely, and you're on your own. We never met. That's it. That's how I suspect it occurred. I'm 99% certain that's how it occurred. But it doesn't really matter how it occurred. It's just the fact that it occurred, and now the Russians are looking for them. Where do you think they are? I can tell you their address. It's west of Belgorod, which is Ukraine. Far. Right? They are in Ukraine right now. I don't know. I just have a gut feeling. All right? So, they will next time they will do it again, and one time they will get caught and they will be punished by the Russians. They will just come in, get out, come in, get out, and we'll see. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.